Hey, look, it's another angle. I don't think I like this one as much as I like my other one, but we'll make do today with what we've got. Welcome and welcome back to the channel. My name is Sarah, and I want to tell you guys about the things that I read in the past week. Now that I am free from Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn. So, yes, I have finished Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn, the series by Tad Williams that ends with 2 Green Angel Tower. There was a live show on Aaron from Booked and Busy's channel last weekend, right? Yes, last weekend, and we discussed this. I was in the minority in that I rated it highly. I did absolutely really enjoy this series, but for me, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't perfect. I didn't have huge problems with it. I gave it like a 4, maybe a 4.5. And it is a series that I will quite possibly revisit in the future. But it is not a series that I think you have to read if you are a fantasy fan. Now, if you are like someone who absolutely loves the genre and you want to learn more about where it's coming from, all of its classic roots, this is something you'll want to pick up. It's kind of the unsung classic niche novel of the genre, series really, of the genre. Most people will point you towards Jordan or for a more modern take, Erickson and stuff, but a lot of people look over this, and I don't think they should. So I really liked it. Miri had the best story, in my opinion. She had the best growth, and I really, really enjoyed how this ended, even though it was super cheesy. It is super cheesy. It's classic fantasy. I'm just glad to be done with it, though. The writing is dense, and it's hard sometimes to read it at any like elevated speed. Like, so if you're trying to read it quickly, you're not gonna be able to do that. You need to take in the time and put the effort into it, and you can't do that unless you go slowly with it. So it's dense, it's beautiful, but yeah, the prose is the limiting factor for me, I think, as far as readability on that goes. But I'm done. I finished the series. There are full thoughts, or there might be full thoughts of everybody still on Erin's channel. I'm not sure. She is retired from BookTube, and she took she took all of her videos down, so I don't know if that video is up on the channel or not, but I did like it. I think I'm going to do a series review in the future, and you can find out more about my thoughts then. While I was reading Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn, I was trying to get it done. I didn't have a lot of time to read other things, but I did slip in some things. I read The Undercutting of Rosie and Adam the last week that I was reading that, and I did finish it after, the live show, and this was delightful. It is in the the Heart and Mercy series. The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy was the first book. I have the second book and have not read it. Now, the first book I found somewhat mediocre. Like, the longer I sat on it, the less I enjoyed it, but this one was fantastic. Really loved this one. I loved Rosie. I thought she was fantastic. Adam was really good. Even though we didn't get his perspective, I really felt for him and I liked him. But Rosie really sold it for me. I loved our tall, red-eyed, sassy main character. If you have been reading this series, or if you want to try it, you can jump in here. We get nods to other events that have happened in the storylines and the story in the world, but I think you can totally just jump in right here and keep going. This is a fantasy world in which the gods had a war. The old gods were banished out, and the new gods kind of remained, but not really. The old gods are in the sky now, they're stars, and people have kind of been trapped around this area called Tanria, which is where the old gods, is it the old gods once dwelled, or the new gods once dwelled? Whatever, there's like a mist around it, and undead come in and out of the mist, dragons live inside of it. It's like a whole other realm that's cut off by this barrier of mist. And this series is about 3 couples whose relationships all deal with or revolve around, that area and how it relates and functions in the world. The first book is about Heart and Mercy. Heart is a ranger, so he moves in and out of the mist. I think it's a ranger. It's something equivalent to that. He moves in and out of the mist. It's his job to monitor the mist, to keep the undead from broaching in on the living. And Mercy is a funeral home director. Frank and Twyla is about some dragon keepers, as far as I'm aware. And this one, Rosie, is also a ranger. She once worked with Hart, and she still works with Hart's apprentice, Duckers. I think it's Duckers, or Ducky. If you remember the other books, you'll remember him. He is a kind of through-point character. And Adam, who is the man who invented the gates, the magic gates people can use to travel through the mist into Tanria. So it is about their relationship, and we get a resolution to the world, so to the mist, everything that's going on with the gods there, and it was really good. I thought for a wrap-up novel, it did a fantastic job, so I really liked it. Was it influenced by how slow Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn was going? Maybe, because it was like my brain break book. It was the book that I could finally relax, read a little quicker, and just, just soak up. And, it's like the Coke at the end of the day. Like, it's not deep thinking, but it's fun. Yes, it probably was influenced, but I really loved it. I might pick up my own copy in the future because I liked it so much. So that was the one thing I read during Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn. I did get my own copy of Bring Me the Head of Joaquin Murrieta. Again, pronunciation is probably terrible. I talked about this a few videos back. This is a nonfiction about the man who possibly, most likely, inspired the myth of Zorro. He was a Mexican miner who came into California during the gold rush, and when the gold rush didn't quite work out for him, he became a bandit chief who raided and murdered and killed his way up and down that coast. This is fantastic. And I didn't know, because I didn't read I don't know if it was included in my e-arc or not, but the author's note at the end. This is kind of like a passion project for him. He's been collecting information on Joaquin since 1970. And in the last couple of years is when he finally compiled it into a full-length, actual book. It's fantastic. I still recommend it. I really liked it. I went through and added some tabs and some notes that I had from my Kindle edition, and it is going to go on my shelves. I will probably reference and reread this in the future. Now, the other two things that I read, I'm going to save my favorite thing for last. I read Moan by Junji Ito. This is not my favorite of his short story collections. I will open with that. This is his newest one. It came out last week or the week before. And this is some of his older short stories. I believe I looked it up, and maybe this was the early 2000s or the early 90s, one of the two. And these stories did not feel as well constructed as his other short stories, which was probably my big problem with it. For example, the very last story is about a time capsule, and we get some weird jumping in the dialogue. So a girl says, "I don't remember this girl," but then later says, "Oh yeah, but she calls me every week." So the stories aren't as well constructed for me. The title story, Moan, is very creepy in some aspects, but the two somewhat related events in the story that are meant to connect don't fully connect. It's not the best. It is good, the art is good, and there are some parts that, again, genuinely made me go, "Oh, what the hell?" But it's not as great as some of his other collections. So know that going in. Your mileage may vary. I wouldn't start here. I don't think this is a good place to start with Ito, because I don't think it's his strongest collection. But it is going on my shelf because I do love Junji Ito. And my favorite thing that I've read in the past 2 weeks, don't get me wrong, again, I loved Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn, but this is my favorite thing. It surprised me. It came out of nowhere. But that is How to Survive Camping. The first book is called The Man with No Shadow, and that's what I have here. Is this so good? Honestly, I can't tell you how much I loved this. It just scratched the perfect part of my brain. Just so good. So this series, because this is going to be a book series, and this is the first book, is based on a series of posts created by Bonnie Quinn on the No Sleep subreddit. If you're unfamiliar with the No Sleep subreddit, I recommend you look it up. Not if you are in any way super susceptible to scary stories, maybe not, but if you like scary stuff, if you like spooky stuff, if you like folklore and goosebumps and things like that, look up the No Sleep subreddit. I would be very shocked if you don't know about it. But this is based off posts that she created there that kind of created this kind of mini community. There was fan art, there was clubs, people were waiting for it, and she's finally getting it published. It is the story of a young woman who runs a campground, and this campground is infested by supernatural beings. Now, these supernatural beings are not friendly supernatural beings. Thus, the series title of How to Survive Camping. There is this running theme of she has a guidebook. People who camp in her campground must follow the guidebook, or she has to save them, and or they just frankly lose their lives. And in this one, we see the rise of the Man with No Shadow and how he is trying to... She's not entirely sure what he's trying to do throughout the novel, but we find out, and it's very good. This is Night Vale vibes. It's quirky, it's funny, but it's also very dark. This is darker than Night Vale, but it has that same quirky tone to it. If you don't like quirky humor, you're probably not going to enjoy this. But if you do like that sort of thing, this is up your street. This is up your alley. It's a very cute little hardback. I finished the e-arc that I owned of this. and immediately went to the bookstore and bought my copy. Like, that's how much I loved this. The second book, The Woman in Chains, I think is what it's called, comes out in April, and I have the e-arc for that as well, so I will be reading that very soon. And I cannot wait to read more of these. I loved this. The tone, the story, everything about it was really good. I was trying to see, yes, hold on. In the physical edition, the guidebook sections where you see the guidebook, it's got its own little illustrations. It's just, this was my favorite read of the past 2 weeks. I don't know what to tell you. This was so good for me. Anyway, besides that, I am currently reading Under the Oak Tree by Suji Kim. This is volume 2. The first one, which is up here above my head, I think. Or it used to be. No, it's not. It's somewhere else. Who knows where it's at? After the reorganization, I don't know where anything is anymore. This is a sequel to the first one, which I liked, but I don't recommend widely because it is a little rocky in places. It's a little questionable at times, and I don't know if that's the story itself or the translation. But I enjoy the majority of the story, so I am definitely reading the second volume. I have it on e-arc. It comes out in 2 weeks, a week, something like that. I am also rereading Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. There is a live show for this on Saturday, so tomorrow when you see this video. And I am tabbing and annotating this time. I'm really enjoying it. I love this series. It's not like perfect. I can't think of a perfect series for me. I always say I like things, but I don't give overall series like 5 stars perfection. There's always going to be something I can point out wrong with it. And this is the same for this. It's not perfect, but I really enjoy it, so I'm rereading it for that live show. So that's going on. That's really the only thing I'm reading right now. We're in kind of a funk. I'm in a funk, I think, after having finished the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn, because it's so long and dense. I'm kind of trying to find my footing again, because I went on vacation and then drove straight into that, and I am so behind on ARC reviews, and past few weeks have just been in other ways outside of reading have been a lot. We're getting our feet back under us. We'll get there. We'll get there. I think everybody's kind of all over the place in the past few weeks. It's only been 2 weeks since I filmed, and I honestly almost forgot how to do it. Here we are. I am going to sign off here and let you guys go. I'm going to go check on my munchkin who is playing Minecraft. She's obsessed with Minecraft. It's very funny. And I will talk to you guys again next time. Thanks so much for watching, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Bye.